sitting down to talk to Gordon today, and Gordon started working with me on his guitar playing about a year ago now, and so he's had a great experience, I think, or a very interesting one. I think it would be really good to share it with you all to talk about sort of where he was, what his experience has been like, and where he's come from, and visit some of the songs he's learned, and that kind of thing. So, Gordon, thanks for joining me today.
That's okay, Ian.
Excellent. Let's start with what your motivation for learning to play the guitar was originally.
Right. I guess it starts back in school days, pretty much as everybody else. I used to listen to lots of music, and I had various bands that I was interested in, and I thought I'd like to learn the guitar. Um, uh, and it sort of started where the idea is there, and then you wonder how you're going to do it. And I went and got some lessons. I bought a guitar, got some lessons, didn't kind of get on with it terribly well. It seemed a little bit too complicated, a bit too fiddly for me. And you know how you have people that you particularly admire,
Mm-hmm.
and you think to yourself, I want to be able to sound like them. But you don't necessarily realize that there's a bit of a journey to get there. And these people started when they were sort of 8 years of age, and they were probably naturally talented to do it. And I wanted to be able to pick up the instrument and learn it immediately. I wanted to be able to play everything that I heard immediately, and it just didn't happen. And I rapidly lost interest in trying to learn. However, I never lost the interest in wanting to learn, but never got around to it. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah.
So, um, moving on 10, 15, 20 years, the bug is still there. Things happen, it kind of gets put to the sidelines, you don't bother doing it. Then I guess about 3, 4 years ago, something like that, during the COVID thing, I thought, I'm going to try it again. So once again, I found on a thing called Free Cycle, which is where people don't want stuff and you can go and collect it. And I picked up an old nylon stringed acoustic guitar, and I started to have a bang away on that, and actually it wasn't too bad. I thought, well, I'll have another go. So I was in my room all by myself, learning on the internet, and it wasn't going terribly well. And then I saw your advert, and I thought, I'll give you a go. And we had a conversation about where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, whether you could help me or not. And I decided that that was actually the way I should go.
Where were you with your guitar playing, sort of when we first met a year ago?
I'd been um, doing some stuff on the internet. Um, I picked up a couple of books and found that I could actually play some fairly simple chords, but I didn't really have a direction. And I needed the direction and I needed the motivation to keep it going, because it's very easy to get frustrated and then just put the instrument down and it just sits there as an ornament. So, so that's where I was.
Okay, cool. And what's your experience been like over the last year?
I actually really enjoyed it. I found that the material that you provide is excellent. You do your weekly mentorship lessons where, if you've got any problems or issues, that's the time to say something. If you don't want to do that, I could always send you an email and you'd always answer, which was always good. And of course, the Thursday lesson that you did, where you'd come up with a tune that either you thought was good or somebody in the process wanted to know about, and you could learn how to do that. So it was good fun. It was interesting.
Okay, great. Excellent. And where are you with your playing now? What kind of, where would you say you are in terms of level and things like that? If we went from the beginning, from white pick.
Right. I sort of go between yellow and orange levels. Um, I follow the paperwork that I've got, all of the chord notes and everything. Um, I have a tendency to go off piece a little bit, and I do my own thing. So although um, it may have a strumming pattern to it, if I think it sounds better me doing it my way, then that's exactly what I do.
Right.
Mm, You know, sometimes I have the tune in my head and I hear how I want it to sound, and that's how I play it. Chords pretty much are where I want them to be. I think sometimes, some bum notes come out. Fingering can be better. Some of the more complicated chords that require the use of four fingers down instantly on various parts of the fingerboard are a little bit challenging for me still. But um, I don't give up. And your process has kind of taught me that I need to stick with it. It's not going to be a 5 minute job.
Mhm.
And I've learned, as I say, somewhere around 12 to 15 tunes or parts of the tunes that interest me.
Mhm.
Because I don't tend to sing. I can't sing. I have a horrible voice. And, I prefer to just sit there and play the music. So if it's got too many of the same note, because there's lots of words, then it doesn't interest me. But if I can find parts of the song that have got lots of different chords and sounds, then that interests me, and that's what I do.
Okay, right. So you won't sort of repeat the same bit over and over, sort of the length it is in the song. You'll move through it, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I sort of alternate things. I keep things interesting for me.
Great.
I'm easily bored,
Mhm.
and so I do things that I know I'm not going to get bored with,
That's
and
great.
that way you progress.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want it to be boring, or you're not going to be picking it up. Definitely not.
Oh,
What?
sorry,
Go on. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say I pick up the guitar regularly. Oh, it could be 5, 6, 7 times a day. I'll do some work in my room over a 5 or maybe a 10 minute period.
Mhm.
Um, Whatever I'm trying to do, it's kind of not working out for me. So I leave it, put it down, walk out the room, go and have a cup of tea. Come back 10, 15 minutes later, pick it up again, sound a little bit better. And I'll keep on with that process over the day, over the 2, 3 days or whatever, until eventually it sinks in.
Great. Short bursts.
It works for me.
Yeah, excellent. Keeps it fresh. Works well with the brain because if you're frequently coming across this stuff, it's gonna start to retain it or make those connections and stuff. It can work really well like that. Absolutely. You don't have to be as you've proven. You don't have to be looking for big chunks of time.
I'll tell you an example I had. I started it yesterday. There it is. And it was the Joker by the Steve Miller Band, and it's the solo, the intro,
Mhm.
and I found um, the tab for it, and I thought, that doesn't sound too bad, too complicated. Gave it a go, and I couldn't get my head around it. And I've been practicing it over the last couple of days, and it's not perfect. It's not as quick as I'd like it, but it's very, very noticeable from when I first tried it to where I am now. It's a lot better. And it's just by using that 5, 10 minute go away, come back process. It
Great.
works.
Cool. Keeping it fresh. That sounds great.
Mm.
What that's a great song. What do you remember the first song that you learned?
Van Morrison's Brown Eyed Girl.
Yeah, nice. Nice tune. And what other ones have you learned over the last year?
Uh, I was looking. I've got things like the Beatles, Obla Obla Donovan's Catch the Wind.
Great.
I don't tend to do things like Oasis. Doesn't interest me.
Mhm.
Um, the Eagles, a couple of Eagles tracks on there.
Mhm.
Uh, that kind of gives you a flavour.
Yeah, nice. Some good. It's a variety, which was really nice. And I think it's great to know what you're not interested in, and you just don't go there. Like just stick to the stuff that you like. There's no,
The
no
thing
need.
I've found is that you need to know the song to be able to play the song. Um, it's very difficult to come at a chord sheet without actually knowing how it sounds.
Yeah,
So very often I'll go onto YouTube and I'll have a listen to the actual track that I'm trying to play, and then I get the rhythm in my head, and then it makes it easier. I can follow it easier. And then I can see that and I say, okay, that's what I need to do. So yeah.
yeah, great. Yeah, I definitely recommend that. Yeah, don't jump into a song just from the way it's written down because there's so much um, going on in a song. Do you know what I mean? We want an idea of the way it sounds and what we're going for before we start to put it together. Yeah,
There's
I
an
agree.
Well, there's an awful lot of songs that use exactly the same chords. It's just the order that they put them in, and um the the actual the actual strumming that you use.
Yeah,
That's what makes the difference.
yeah,
Everybody uses the
feel it.
same chords. There's only 7 notes you can choose from, really, aren't there?
Yeah, you're right. When you're sort of the song is in one specific key. Yeah, 7 notes. What are the timing? What's the sequence of them? And really, what's the feel of the song? I think makes a
Yeah,
big difference as well. Um, yeah, definitely. Um, okay, cool, excellent. Well, that's really good progress. 14 songs over the year. Yeah, well done. Absolutely.
thank you.
And you mentioned in terms of practice, you're picking it up several times during the day, 5, 7 times for short bursts of playing. Do you pick it up every day, or are there days you don't pick it up, or are there longer sessions as well? Or
I do longer sessions, half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. There are times when I will walk away and I won't pick up the instrument for a couple of days, which I find also works. But yeah, generally speaking, it's every day, and it's, as I say, anything between 4 and about 7 times during the course of the day that I will pick it up. I even take a travel guitar on holiday with me sometimes,
great.
uh, which is, yeah, that's okay. That works, but I still stick to the do it for 5, 10 minutes, then walk away, come back and do it.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, really, really good. Do you do you have any advice for somebody? Because you've come a long way in a short time. What would you say to somebody who was where you were a year ago? Getting a bit stuck with it, not really sure the best way to proceed.
First of all, for me, I would say try and work it out for yourself, but don't spend too long doing it. And then you are there. Call you. Speak in the mentorship thing. Send you an email. You'll always get back, and you'll probably come up with some method or something that you hadn't thought of. Don't be shy. I am. which is kind of an issue for me half the time. But if you can get over that, speak to you. That's what you are there for. And you're very good at it, I have to say.
Thanks. Yeah, excellent. And for somebody who considers himself shy, like it's great that you've reached out, you've been able to work together on what you're doing and guide you through it and stuff. Like it's really good. I think it's really good that you're overcoming that and moving forward with your playing. Yeah, really great. I'm really looking forward to where you go from here with it. So absolutely great. Well done.
Thank you very much indeed.
Cool. Cheers, Gordon.
Thanks, Ian.